Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
And just like that, we have a marketing war on our hands.
Stop the ad! That is being racist!
I think it's really important for people to see how words actually affect people.
Something strange is happening in Hollywood. In just a few short years, Sydney Sweeney has gone from being a face you might vaguely recognize on TV to one of the most in-demand actresses in the industry. She's the red carpet showstopper, the internet's obsession, and the woman every director suddenly wants in their next project. But here's the thing, none of this happened by accident. Sydney didn't just get lucky with a breakout role, she carefully played the game, made moves behind the scenes, and took risks that could have ended her career before it even began.
Sydney Sweeney has said that the feminism in Hollywood is fake.
People accusing her family of being Trump supporters.
She's a registered Republican? Oh, now I love her.
And along the way, she's faced challenges and rumors that the public barely knows about. So, how does a girl from small-town Washington become Hollywood's newest it girl? And what might it cost her to stay there? Let's break it down. Sydney Sweeney grew up far from the Hollywood spotlight, in Spokane, Washington, a quiet place where dreams of movie stardom felt like they belonged to someone else. But Sydney wasn't the type to just dream. She was the type to plan. At just 12 years old, she convinced her parents to let her audition for an acting role by creating a full PowerPoint presentation on why she could make it in the industry. That pitch worked, and soon she was driving hours to Seattle and Los Angeles for auditions. But the early years were brutal. Sydney landed small parts in shows like Criminal Minds and Grey's Anatomy, but they were blink-and-you'll-miss-it roles. There were no magazine covers, no viral moments, just a lot of hard work, rejection, and long days wondering if it would ever pay off. What most people don't know is that during this time, her family made major sacrifices. They even lived in a motel for a while to support her acting dreams, something Sydney later described as really hard, but also the turning point where she decided she had to succeed, no matter what. And then, one role came along that would change everything. But it wasn't a glamorous lead. It was a dark, complicated part that showed the world she wasn't just another pretty face. That breakout role came in Euphoria, where Sydney played Cassie Howard, a character that was messy, emotional, and painfully human. Cassie wasn't the typical cool girl you see in teen dramas. She was vulnerable, often desperate for love and constantly making choices that left viewers yelling at their screens. Sydney poured everything into the role. She studied Cassie's psychology, broke down her emotional patterns, and wasn't afraid to look unflattering on screen. And it worked. Her performance grabbed attention from critics, fans, and casting directors alike. Suddenly, Sydney went from a rising actress to one of the most talked about stars on HBO. Social media lit up with Cassie memes, reaction videos, and fan theories. Her face was everywhere, and not just in entertainment magazines. High-fashion brands started calling, and she became a fixture on red carpets. But while Euphoria made her famous, it also put her under a microscope. Every scene, every outfit, every off-screen rumor suddenly became public property. And with that kind of attention comes a whole new set of challenges. With fame came the kind of scrutiny Sydney had never faced before. Paparazzi started following her to coffee runs, fans dissected her Instagram posts, and tabloids tried to link her to almost every co-star she had. But Sydney didn't just sit back and let the noise define her. She began using her platform to show people who she really was. Outside of the Hollywood spotlight, she's a hands-on gearhead, literally building and restoring vintage cars in her free time. Her TikTok series, Sid's Garage, became a fan favorite, revealing a completely different side of her personality. This contrast, glamorous A-list actress by night, grease-stained mechanic by day, made her even more intriguing. Brands saw her as relatable yet aspirational, and fans connected with her authenticity. Still, balancing that authenticity with the expectations of fame wasn't easy. Hollywood loves to box people in, and Sydney was determined not to be typecast, on or off the screen. Sydney's next move proved she wasn't afraid to take risks. After cementing herself in TV drama, she dove into film roles that surprised both fans and critics. One of her biggest shifts came with Anyone But You, a rom-com that placed her in a completely different light. The project was a gamble, stepping away from the intense, heavy characters she was known for and embracing something lighter, funnier, and far more commercially mainstream. The result? The film exploded in popularity, sparking viral moments online and giving Sydney a fresh wave of media attention. But with that came another challenge. People started questioning whether she was making strategic career moves or simply chasing the next big paycheck. Behind the scenes, industry insiders whispered that Sydney was carefully shaping her image, balancing prestige roles with box office hits to secure her place in Hollywood for the long haul. But the question remained. Could she keep that balance without alienating the fans who fell in love with her raw, dramatic performances? While Sydney's career moves kept headlines buzzing, her personal life was becoming just as talked about. She'd always been private, but paparazzi shots and tabloid rumors started painting a different picture. Whispers about secret relationships, unexpected friendships, and even on-set chemistry with certain co-stars began circulating online. Some fans defended her, saying the speculation was just the cost of fame. Others worried the constant gossip might overshadow her work. And in Hollywood, where perception can make or break a career, every rumor has the potential to stick, whether it's true or not. Sydney, however, didn't shy away. She started showing more of her real life on social media, sharing behind-the-scenes glimpses, candid moments with friends, and unfiltered photos that pushed back against the overly polished celebrity image. It was a risky move, but it made her seem more relatable. The only question was, would that relatability be enough to keep her fanbase loyal if the rumors got louder? Just as her public image was balancing between admiration and curiosity, Sydney made a bold career move that caught everyone off guard. Instead of sticking to the roles everyone expected, the glamorous, the romantic, the mysterious, she signed on for a gritty, low-budget indie project with a first-time director. It was a far cry from the high-profile productions she'd been part of, and industry insiders were quick to speculate why. Some said it was a smart way to prove her range. Others believed it was a calculated risk to earn critical acclaim and maybe even set herself up for an award season run. But there was more to it. The role required her to strip away all the Hollywood gloss. No red carpet gowns, no flawless makeup, no perfectly lit close-ups. It was raw, messy, and completely unlike anything she'd done before. For a star so often associated with beauty and style, it was a daring gamble, and the reaction from both critics and fans would either cement her as a serious actress or leave people wondering if she'd made the wrong move entirely. Then came the whispers that this indie project wasn't just a career move, it was a personal statement. Reports started surfacing that the film's storyline mirrored parts of Sydney's own life. Themes of ambition, sacrifice, and the hidden pressures behind a seemingly perfect image had people asking, is this her way of telling us something? Fans began dissecting every interview she gave, every cryptic social media post, searching for clues. Even the director hinted that Sydney had brought deeply personal energy to the role, though he stopped short of explaining what that meant. The mystery only fueled the buzz. Was she subtly revealing the darker side of fame? Was she addressing rumors without actually saying a word? One thing was clear. Whether intentional or not, Sydney had turned this project into more than a movie. It had become a conversation about the real person behind the spotlight. By the time the film wrapped, Sydney Sweeney had done more than just act. She had redefined her place in Hollywood. The quiet, wide-eyed newcomer from her early days was gone. In her place stood a woman in full control of her image, her projects, and her narrative. The movie's trailer alone racked up millions of views in days, and critics were already calling it her career-defining role before it even hit theaters. But for Sydney, the real victory wasn't the hype. It was proving she could shape her own path in an industry that loves to put people in boxes. She showed she could move between blockbuster glamour and raw, intimate storytelling without losing herself in the process. And as she stepped onto the red carpet for the film's premiere, one thing was certain. This wasn't the peak of her career. It was the beginning of a whole new chapter. Sydney Sweeney's story is more than just another Hollywood rise. It's a blueprint for how to play the long game in an industry obsessed with quick fame. She's turned every challenge into momentum, every rumor into conversation, and every role into a stepping stone. From her breakout moments on TV to producing her own films, she's shown that success isn't about waiting for opportunities, it's about creating them. If the last few years proved anything, it's that Sydney isn't slowing down. She's not just the actress everyone's talking about, she's becoming the one everyone's watching, wondering what bold move she'll make next.